Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Cleaning Girl Clubhouse, where we share tips, tricks, and tell-alls about starting, scaling, and supporting your house cleaning business. If this is your first time joining us, hey, I'm Kelly, the Cleaning Girl, and I'm an award-winning and professional housekeeper of over 20 years. And now I teach women just like you how to turn their love of house cleaning into a profitable house cleaning company. Don't forget to click the link in the description and grab my free Cleaning Biz checklist so that you can launch your business and level up to the pros. I'm so excited that you're here today because we have an incredible show scheduled for you. But before we get started, be sure to click the link at the top of the post if you haven't already, and give StreamYard permission to show us your comment below. So one of my most common concerns that I hear from cleaning girls is, how much should I be paying myself? So I wanted to take a moment and make this live special by bringing you one of our expert speakers from the Cleaning Girl Academy to share with us how to effectively create your cleaning business with simple solutions so that you can stand out from the competition and collect this cleaning cash. So please help me welcome my friend, your friend, and our queen of QuickBooks, Denai Wolfe of the Chic CFO. Welcome, Denai. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please tell us about yourself and your amazing Profit Perfect Academy.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I love doing these things and being able to connect with other women and business. So I am the founder of Profit Perfect Academy, where we teach female entrepreneurs financial education, empowerment, and freedom. So I really believe that building wealth starts with building up your financial IQ. If you want to increase your bank account, you have to increase your financial IQ. So that is what I have really dedicated my career to, and that's what we do inside of the Academy.
Awesome. So Denai, for all of the fans out there who don't know us, we originally connected back in 2015 through our local women's business center. And you had just opened your first franchise, Primo Hoagies. And then fast forward a few years later, you chose to dip your heels into bookkeeping. And in 2017, I became one of your first clients, right? And for those listening, I always have to share how many moons ago that I did not know my numbers. Not a zip. I was just that girl. I showed up to clean, and I really didn't pay attention to anything else that was happening under the hood. So for years, I knew that houses were on the schedule and people were paying, and that there was money in the bank and payroll checks were being cashed. But I had no freaking clue about what to do when it came to money and where it was all going. So Denai calls me one day and she tells me about this new venture. And get this, I had already had a bookkeeper, right? I was paying her every month and I was showing up to sign checks. But despite having a bookkeeper and paying this bookkeeper, I still had no idea of what was going on in my bank account. There were no conversations. There was, nothing to be said as far as how much I was making, what I was doing with that money, and where it was going. I couldn't have even told you if she was even doing her job because, again, numbers aren't my thing. And instead of having someone in my corner to help me understand my numbers and how they were working in my business, I just ignored them and hoped for the best. So I said, sure, take a look, knock yourself out. And that was it. Less than a month later, she became our chief financial officer. She streamlined our finances and strategically helped our company increase profits every year since. And so fast forward several years later, you are now the all things ambassador for financial within the cleaning space, right? And after running your bookkeeping service for so long and working alongside so many other cleaning companies, what would you say is the most common issue that you see other cleaning services struggling with today, like I once was, when we first started together?
Yeah. So there are several things that I see definitely impacting the cleaning community when it comes to their finances. So the first thing that 100% jumps out is they're just not really treating it like a business, in the sense of they're not making sure that the money part of it is one of their important and critical pillars. So there's a lot of conversation about hiring. There's a lot of conversation about what cleaning products to use or what softwares to use or how to market, but there's not enough conversation about money, right? That's not really being prioritized. And they're a lot of times just kind of looking at the money in their business as their money as well. There's not this idea of like separating it. So the first thing is making sure that everyone feels empowered to say, you know what, I'm in my business to make money. I think sometimes that's a little faux pas. You're not supposed to say that. If you're in it for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason, right? People say that all the time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you are a for-profit business, you're in business to make money.
That's right.
So we want to make sure that we are protecting our money, right? So it's just like the queen bee in the beehive, right? Everybody protects the queen bee. Like, we want to do that with the profit in our company. So first and foremost, just admitting that, getting past that money mindset problem and saying, you know what, I am in business to be profitable. That's step one. I see too many people leaving that to the wayside. They kind of get lost in just what are their branding and what is all the things that I'm just like, first of all, are you profitable, right? So making sure that you've taken the time to say, once I book a cleaning and cover the costs associated with it, right? Such as my cleaning supplies and paying my cleaners, how much money is left over? Right. And then how many services do I need to make the money that I want to make? That's an important thing that has to happen. And then the second thing that we see is shiny object syndrome. So there is a lot in the cleaning community. We tend to throw money at our problems is the best way to put it, right? So when there is an issue in our business, the go-to is, I'm going to throw money at it. So I'm going to take this course, or I'm going to pay for this, or I'm going to do that. And the reality is that is not the best technique, right? The very first thing you have to do is just get down to basics and make sure that at your core, you are running a profitable model. So running through and figuring out, what do you charge per hour? What are you paying per hour? Are you including supplies? You know, what does that cost? Run that initial transaction and see, am I actually profitable? And make sure that when you're looking at your expenses, the most common ones that I see are rent and vehicles. When you have expenses that seem high, that's where I want you to start as a cleaning company. Are you paying rent? Do you have a vehicle? And support staff. Forgot that one. Those are the three ones. And again, it comes down to this shiny object syndrome. They think in order to be a big business and be respected, I need the facility, and I need the admin support, and I need the fleet of vehicles.
Right.
That is not the case. Okay. We have a lot of very profitable cleaning companies that don't have all of those things. And too often I hear, well, I need the facility. Well, I need the fleet of cars for my marketing. Well, I need this administrative support person. But that's the culprit. When people are not hitting an industry standard of 20% profitability, I always start there. What's going on with your support team? What is going on with your rent? And what is going on with your vehicles? Those are the three areas where there's usually room to increase profitability. And it's this weird kind of put the cart before the horse thing, because the idea is, well, I'm going to grow my business, so I'm going to need this administrative support team, right? But that's how we get stuck with growing pains, right? Because in the middle of growing into that point, you're bleeding money, and you've got to stop the bleed and find that balance and figure out, number one, if I do things more efficiently, I'm going to automatically save money on my administrative support, right? Maybe there's something that you can step into your business and you can personally do so that you can cut back on that support. But it's just always this shiny object syndrome. They think, I want to be, here's what I always hear, I'm going to be $1 million cleaning company, and therefore I need a huge support staff. I need a fancy fleet of vehicles, and I need rent because I need a building with my name on it. That's what I hear all the time. And I just want people to know, you don't need that. You can be wildly profitable without all of those things. And if you grow into it, great. But it's this weird in between where they're operating as though they're $1 million company and they're not a $1 million company, and it's hurting them. But those are the three areas I want you guys to search for if you are not hitting at least a 20% profit margin. Check those three spots.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I've stated before, I've been in business for, forever. And one of the things that I'm 100% vocal about is, of course, not knowing my numbers. And, that ultimately becomes a domino effect, right? I didn't know how much to pay people, how much to spend on marketing and supplies, and let's not even talk about taxes. I mean, the list just goes on and on. But you touched on a really important factor that I think speaks to me just a moment ago. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of it comes from fear, right? It's a big it's a big step to actually go into business. And then when you start learning, like, oh, wait, I have to know all of these things. I think fear definitely sets in. It did for me because I always ran from numbers. Like I said, that wasn't my thing. I didn't understand it. And to be fair, I was never good in math at school. I flunked out of community college because I couldn't pass the math in order to get to my other classes. And so it was something that I just ignored. And fast forward all these years later, this is something that now I understand drives the business. It literally speaks to every part of the business. And by, kind of being naive early on, which I think some people are when they get into this industry, they don't realize the effects that the numbers have on everything that you're doing. I think it just, it kind of almost paralyzes us by making the right moves sooner than later and being able to drive that, business vehicle down the road into better things at the end of the day. So, for me, I think, and I think you could probably agree, back in the day, there weren't a lot of resources for women in business. And we're talking pre-internet days, right? Because I started, many moons ago. And, by having somebody like yourself in my corner, it definitely gave me the confidence to make better decisions faster, right? I knew like how many people we could put on the schedule. I knew how many cleaners that I needed. I knew if I wanted to invest in business development 3 to 6 months from now, this is how much money I needed to put aside to keep everything happy, as well as pay my taxes at the end of the year. So my biggest question is, if I was a struggling business owner, like I used to be, what would be your best advice and recommendation for someone like, let's just say starting tomorrow? What could they actually do to get themselves up, showing up and being successful, let's say in the next 90 days? What would that number one recommendation be?
Yes, we're going to have a money. Okay, we have to implement a money system in our businesses. And I think as entrepreneurs, we've got a system and a plan for everything except our profit, right? Like if I ask you, what's your marketing plan? Like they can go on and on about their funnel and this, that, and the third, and their branding and their ads and all the things.
Yeah.
But when I ask for the profit plan, it's kind of just like crickets. So I want to make sure that you guys have a simple, right? A simple profit plan, because I've learned money is complicated enough, right? So our best way to have success with it is to keep it simple. So here is what you guys can implement in your business today. All right, today, to make sure that you've got a money plan, you've got a money system. So the very first thing I'm going to have you guys do, okay, Money 101, I want you to make sure that you are separating your business money from your personal money. So when your clients pay you, that's going to go into your business checking account. When you pay a business bill, such as paying for your G Suite, it's going to come out of your business checking account. But when you pay for your mani-pedi, that's going to come out of your personal checking account.
Right.
Now you might be thinking, well, I pay for my mani-pedi with the money my business pays me, so I pay it out of my business account. No, very simple process to fix. All you're going to do is take this thing right here, your phone, you're going to log on and you're going to do a transfer. Do a transfer from your business checking account to your personal, and then pay for whatever it is that you need personally out of your personal account. Okay, we always want that separation. Okay, keep it business when it's business, keep it personal when it's personal. Okay, that is step one. The next thing that I want to make sure that you guys are doing once you've separated everything, okay, I want you to have a bookkeeping process in place. Now, I know sometimes the word bookkeeping can sound really scary, but let me just demystify this here, okay? All this means is you are simply categorizing all of your financial transactions. So it simply means you are looking at your business bank statement and you are saying, okay, last month I spent $100 on office supplies. I spent $200 on Facebook ads, right? You're going through and actually considering where all of the money came from and where all of the money went, and you're putting them into buckets, so to speak. Now, I do love QuickBooks Online for this, but QuickBooks is just not quick enough for everyone. So at minimum, you can do this with a spreadsheet, okay? I have templates you can use. I promise you, it is a mental block. It's actually not that hard. This is all in your mindset that you think you can't do it. It's truly the process, just like organizing your closet, right? You put the shirts with the shirts. Well, with our money, you put the office supply expenses in the office supply thing. You put the marketing expenses in the marketing category, because you have to know where everything is going, okay? So make sure you have a process where you can accurately calculate what was your revenue, okay? And what were your expenses. That's the second piece to this money system, okay? Then from there, you need to understand the entrepreneurial equation, okay? This right here, it's the backbone for everything, okay? This is how you're gonna understand how it works. Very, very simple, okay? Revenue minus expenses equals profit. That is the entrepreneurial equation. And here's what you then have to know. Your profit is your taxable income. So back in the day when you were an employee, what did you used to have? You had a gross paycheck and a net paycheck. What was the difference? It was the taxes. So when you calculate the profit in your business, that is not your net paycheck. It is your gross paycheck, okay? Always think about the profit in your business as your gross paycheck. So you are going to set aside your tax money from the profit, and I want you to transfer it in to another account, okay? We're gonna have a tax savings account, and every month when you calculate your profit, you are going to set it aside. Now, I know you guys are already thinking, well, I don't know how much to put aside. Okay, I have two very easy solutions for you. Number one, if you have a professional doing your taxes, email them and say, I want to be saving for my taxes in real time, not estimates. In real time, I want to save for my taxes.
Right.
What, based on previous years, what percentage should I be saving? Okay, open it up to them and ask them. Or you're going to go to irs.gov and look at the 2023 income tax brackets.
Okay.
A little chart, you'll find where you land, and you're going to take that percentage. You also then are going to go to your state's division of revenue. Same thing. What are the income tax brackets? Okay. Now, I will tell you, full disclosure here, these are going to be aggressive numbers because everybody has standard deductions, right? So when you follow this process, you're going to set aside a little bit more than you need to, but I'd rather you be safe than sorry, and you can always think about it as a bonus at the end of the year, okay? But you can either talk to your tax provider or go to irs.gov or your state's division of revenue. You take the state percentage, the IRS percentage, add them together, boom. Now you know what you need to set aside. So let's say federally, you need to set aside 24, and then with your state, you need to set aside 5. Now you know 29% of your profit is going to be transferred into your tax savings account. What's left is your net paycheck, okay? That is the money system. That is how all of this works. And now that you're able to calculate your net pay, you're going to be intentional with it, right? You want to be smart with it. And I'm sure we've all heard the saying, pay yourself first, right?
Right.
What that means is you always want to be investing your money, okay? Paying yourself first means that you are getting money into some type of an investment because you want your money to work for you. So what I always tell my students is money is like a flower, okay? She wants to stand tall in the sun for everybody to see her and admire her. She wants to be nurtured, watered, pruned, right? We have to take care of it. We never want to keep a flower in the dark in a drawer, right? We can't keep our money in a sock drawer. We can't keep our money just sitting in the bank earning zero, right? So we want to make sure that we are very intentional. Before we do anything with that net pay, we pay ourselves by moving some of it into an opportunity where it can yield more, right? How can we invest it? So this is not an investing class, but I will tell you guys, absolutely suggest you get sure you're got some type of a retirement account. I personally suggest Fidelity for that, or get yourself some type of a brokerage account. You could also invest into real estate, and at minimum, guys, if you want a quick win right now, get yourself into a high yield savings account. Okay. That is not an investment, which means it is not a risk.
Right.
It is guaranteed. Your money is safe, but I want you to make sure a portion of your money is being allocated into a situation where it's going to be nourished, okay? Where it's going to have the opportunity to grow. Then what's left over is for you to budget for your personal life. But those are steps that you need to take right now to make sure that you've got a money system, right? You need this profit plan. You need this process. And if you listen to all that, it's really not that complicated. I think we just overcomplicate it, when in reality, if you're disciplined and you're paying attention to these transactions and you're categorizing them and searching for the patterns, all of the answers that you have been searching for are going to jump off the page at you.
Yeah.
And that's why this stuff is so important. It makes us able to look at our company through a different lens. We're looking at it through a financial lens. And when you do that, you're always going to know what the next right move is, because those answers jump off the page.
Absolutely. Whew, that was a lot. That was some good stuff. I took down some notes too, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, as you're talking, I have somewhat of familiarity, of course, obviously with all this, but also I'm just thinking about, fear setting in and financial literacy setting in, what you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. And then as far as like, just setting yourself up for success and making sure that what numbers are going to run the business. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, there's so many other companies out there that, at the end of the day, they're the best of the best and they have all their ducks in a row. And I'm like, I guarantee you don't have, your numbers aren't as great as what you think they are. And I just have to ask, do you find that a lot of financial issues tend to be with a more inexperienced business owner, or just across the board? Because I know just from cleaning girls that I talk to, they can be super organized in certain areas. Of course, for me, financials that wasn't the area for me. But you tend to learn, what your strong suit is, right? And then you focus on that. And I think, of course, financials need to be definitely number one on the board. But again, looking at the landscape of all these other cleaning companies, where you think that they have their act together, where at the end of the day, they're just a hot mess like I was, 20-some years ago. So tell me, across the board, who do you think is actually winning? Do you think it's, someone that's actually taking the time to sit down, put a plan together, put a profit plan together, or someone who has met the $1 million mark and you just haven't had a chance to look under their hood yet, and it's kind of just smoke and mirrors?
Yeah, I love this. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so we've all heard the saying, right? Mo money, mo problems, right? So when finances are not being managed correctly, right? And you have a small business, so you don't have a lot of revenue coming in the door in the first place, right? You can do a lot of damage. However, the damage that could be done when you have a multi-million-dollar company is way worse, right? So financial mismanagement is dangerous at any level, but when the stakes get even higher, it does get even worse. The worst scenario I have ever personally witnessed was someone with $1 million in invoices that had not been paid, and them genuinely having not known that. I was brought in because they were selling their asses off. They were so busy and they kept taking loans out to do payroll, and they didn't understand what was going on. And when we popped the hood, so to speak, we saw that $1 million, not only were the invoices not paid, but you want to know why they weren't paid? They weren't sent. There was a whole queue, and the total was like $989,000 had not been sent. So if these clients didn't ghost you, you didn't send them. Right. And that was just a huge kink in the system. And that was one of those defining moments for me, learning like, oh my gosh, as entrepreneurs, like, we really get so caught up in the, like they were out there hustling, right? To generate that much money. You are hustling. You're
totally
getting
guilty. Yeah.
But no one on the back end is actually charging them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ain't that a kick in the head? Like, are you kidding me? Like the owners out there hustling, landing these huge corporate deals, and her back end wasn't actually charging people. So it's happening across the board, but it's definitely worse the more money coming in, because now it can really become a dangerous situation with something like that. We have $1 million unpaid. And one of the important things to know when it comes to money, and I tell my students this all the time, money won't fix your problem if the problem is you.
Right.
Okay. So if you are having a hard time managing money and you make $50,000 a year, if you make $500,000 a year, you will still have a hard time managing your money, because everything is about creating financial habits, right? This is progress, not perfection. So if you are not saving money right now because you think you don't make enough, that means you are not a saver. So if you start making $1 million a year tomorrow, you're still not going to save money.
Right.
Because you have to create those habits now. So you want to start now, immediately getting a money system in place. I outlined one for you here today, right? I kept it simple. Maybe that's not the right plan for you. The message is get one that is right for you, because you need a system in place. Otherwise, I guarantee you there are mistakes happening. And I'll tell you right now, another quick win. I love quick wins, right? So I told you guys, get the high yield savings account. I always recommend Marcus by Goldman Sachs. If anybody wants that, I actually have a link that gets you an extra point of interest for the first 90 days. So you guys can reach out to me. I'll give you the link. But another thing that you guys can do as a quick win, just print out 3 months worth of bank statements, okay? Grab a glass of wine and a highlighter. Sit on the couch, give yourself 15 minutes. Read every single transaction. Highlight it if you're like, what the F is that? I guarantee you, we're going to have so many highlights on there. They might be like, didn't know I was paying for that. Thought I canceled for that. Who is that? How did that happen? When did I do that? Like, you will find money.
You're going to need another glass of wine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Just bring the whole bottle already.
Find it. Yep, it'll be the most profitable 20 minutes of your life, because you're going to find money that has just been sitting on the table that you didn't realize, because knowledge is power. So making sure, like I always tell people, if you don't know what's going on in your bank account, you don't know what's going on in your business. So I want you guys to print it out, grab your highlighter, and find out what's going on in your business. All the answers are there in that bank statement.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm so thankful for this information, especially because I know what it was like coming into, the business world, not having much information to start with, not having the resources that we have today. And so, not to say I had a lot of excuses, but I had a lot of reasons as to why I couldn't move the business forward so many years ago as to where I needed it to go, because I just didn't have that information readily available for me. And so I love that we're sharing this across the board, regardless if you're inexperienced, if you're $1 million earner, because I think, again, going back to that fear mindset, not knowing mindset, not knowing the resources that you have available for you mindset, not knowing where to start. It doesn't matter if you're just getting started, if you've been in this for a while, there are resources out there, and having simple resources such as a spreadsheet can allow you to, again, sit down with a glass of wine, with your highlighter, looking at your statements, putting things in place so that you can propel your business forward. You can actually start to set up the business for success with a great profitable plan. So, knowing what we know now, I'm really hopeful that some of our local house cleaners will take note and revisit their financial solutions, because honestly, I don't believe a business can run effectively and efficiently without a solid financial process in place. Not unorganized and all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made within the cleaning industry, and with the right system in place that, like you suggested before, just with a simple spreadsheet, you can really step up your business inexpensively on your own or outsource the financial tasks to an expert. And then, just like Denai has mentioned, focus on making the numbers work for your business, not against your business. So let's take a quick minute and get to know Denai just a little bit better. We have a couple questions I want to ask you, and just let our viewers know who you are outside of the financial world, and we'll just continue the conversation. So tell me really quick.
I have no idea what these questions are.
No questions, right?
I have no idea.
So tell me, question number one, are you a beach or a mountain girl?
Beach.
Oh, beach all day. Question two, housewives or Vanderpump Rules?
Ooh, Vanderpump.
Yeah, Vanderpump. Okay, I'm just dipping my toe into Vanderpump, but I'm housewife obsessed.
Oh, I am fully submerged in Vanderpump. Yes.
I have a lot of catching up to do. Dogs or cats?
Neither.
Not a pet lover? Okay. I'm a dog girl.
Fish that I'm like counting down the days. I got to be honest. Sorry, PETA. I'm not. No, not into.
No, I'm not a cat. I can't do cats. Total dog mom. Can't do cats. Steak or seafood?
I am allergic to seafood. So.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah, that stinks. That stinks. I'm seafood all day. I don't eat a lot of meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I guess I could be like a casual vegetarian.
Yeah.
I haven't gone all the way because I do like a good hot dog, but yeah, I'm seafood all day. And tell me, Taylor Swift or Miley Cyrus?
Taylor.
Oh, Taylor. I love some Taylor. Love Taylor. All right. So, okay, Denai, if there are any house cleaners that have questions about their interest in learning about your services, financial literacy, or their financial systems, how can they contact you?
Yeah. Tell them to head over to the Profit Factor Facebook group. That is my free Facebook group where I come in every week with trainings, just like what we did here today.
Yes, she does. And they're amazing trainings. You're not going to find any other trainings like them online, and she is there for you. So ladies, if you're catching this late, comment replay below and click the link provided to grab these goodies. We're also going to add a couple links at the bottom during the show to make sure that you can grab the upcoming training that Denai is going to have scheduled, any other information that we have about her Profit Academy, and where you can find Denai moving forward to help you get your financial goals in place. Denai, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I can't wait to see you show up inside of our academy and drop more gems for us all. And for everyone watching, thank you for tuning in to today's The Cleaning Girl Clubhouse. Be sure to join us next time as we share the dirty journey of all things clean. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.